Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Your Holiness, I have the deepest honor and the privilege to request you to deliver the 2017 annual lecture of the Editors Guild of India. Ladies and gentlemen, His Holiness. Thank you very much.
Usually, I prefer sort of talk with standard way. But now, getting older, recently I was in Ladakh. So with the expectation, it's a dry climate. So maybe good for Mysore was a day. Needs like that. But then, not much sort of positive effect. More disturbance about my sleep. And then, at this time, I think more feeling of tiredness. So, now today, I want to speak on chair. And also, I do not want you just lone. I want to join.
Thank you.
Your companion. So indeed, great honor. I say something on this special sort of anniversary or something. So, I always, you see, believe and also telling everywhere, world belongs to 7 billion human beings. And then each nation actually belongs to the people. Not kings or queens or rajas or ranis and leaders, including spiritual leaders. Actually, people are the real, also the boss of the country. So, in order to carry responsibility by the people, the democratic system is the best system through election. Then I think I myself, from childhood, I realize our old system, Tibetan government system, there are a lot of drawbacks because, of course, at that time, no newspaper, but only one Tibetan newspaper published at Kalimpong. One Ladakhi Christian, Thurjin Babu. So we occasionally receive one copy of that newspaper. Otherwise, in Tibet, no newspaper. So for me, the source of information is sweepers. Very good. They're very honest. When I ask something, they really should mention me how bad such minister or even regent. When I ask some officials, they say, "Oh, polite, too much polite." Oh, okay, good, like that. So then, you see, I realize some drawbacks there are, injustice there, favoritism there, like that. You see, these things, you see, due to, you see, the power in few people's hand. So then, 1950, I think 51, I took the responsibility. So then, soon after that, I set up a reform committee, some reform, but not very successful, because Chinese leaders, they want to reform according to their own way. So, if Tibetan carry by themselves some reform, it naturally more fit to the condition, right? So therefore, I said that will be obstacle for their own way of reform. So then, 52, 53, 54, I went to Peking. Then 56, came to India. While I was in Peking, 1954, around October 1st, Pandit Nehru also, you see, came in Peking. So first meeting, Pandit Nehru, not much talk, just a meeting like that. Then 56, several talks with Pandit Nehru. Then 59, when we decide to raise Tibetan issue at the UN, Pandit Nehru opposed that. But in any way, we raise. Then, after that, another occasion meeting with Nehru. I little bit because of the anxious. Say, in spite of his advice, we sort of raised UN to an issue. But then when I met him, nothing. So that also shows the freedom of Kasota. Freedom of thought like that. Really. So that this Tinmurtin, since 56, I came several times. And eventually, we developed, I think, very, very close trust, friendship with the late Jawaharlal Nehru. We Tibetan refugee community. Now, after all, since 59, now over 58 years past, refugee community not only settled well, self-sufficiency, right? But also, you see, we carry various projects for preservation of Tibetan culture, particularly Tibetan knowledge, the ancient Indian knowledge. So all these, Pandit Nehru really also create foundation. So he, Jawaharlal Nehru, in Tibetan, usually they say Chola Nehru, means Kasurta. Brothers. Brother Nehru, like that. Jawaharlal, Tibetan word Chola. Chola means, you say, elder brother. So now, so therefore, after 59, after I reached India at Mussoorie, 1 year I spent there, at once we start work for democratization. Then eventually 2001, elected political leadership achieved. Since then, you see, my position is semi-retired position. Then 2011, I totally retired. So not only myself retired, but also at least 4th century old tradition. Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of both temporal and spirituality. Now that voluntarily, happily, proudly cease. So we genuinely now practice democratic system like that. So now in the future, even Dalai Lama institution remain, 15 Dalai Lama come, no significance about the political matter. I think Chinese government do not know that, so still consider Dalai Lama, or the reincarnation of Dalai Lama is something very important. So they show more concern for 14 Dalai Lama or 15 Dalai Lama than myself. I have not much concern. So, my part, I fully, as a sort of admirer of democracy, I myself, you see, committed democratization like that. So I think we're quite proud, small Tibetan community. We fully practice democracy, democratic system. You see, as for in that field, I think we small community much advanced than big China. So eventually, I think according wishes of Chinese people, I think Chinese Communist Party may follow our practice, our pattern. So in any way, now India, most populated democratic country. Because of that, very stable. Compare neighboring state in West Pakistan and also Afghanistan, and then East Burma, Thailand, and South Sri Lanka. I think comparatively, I think this country much stable, peaceful. And 1,000-year-old US sort of tradition, ahimsa, respect other. That I think really brings harmony among different religious traditions. Today, I think India is the only country where all major world religious traditions live together. Occasionally, some problem. That's understandable. Over 1 billion Indian, not Bodhisattva. So some problems, you see, naturally happen. But overall picture, I think, wonderful, wonderful. Now, since people are the real ruler of the country, so people should inform what is the reality, what is going on. Now, free press, very important role to educate people, inform the reality. Sometimes officials, I think everywhere, you see, prefer more positive report, more positive side. Little wrong things try to hide. So press should make clear those things which concern sort of leaders or people or government level try to try to hide. You see, it is your sort of responsibility to make clear. Provided honest, truthful. Or media people belongs to this party or belongs to that party, and a little bit sort of biased. That also is not good, but you say they truthfully, objectively. That's very essential. So Indian press, I think generally speaking, I think you really, because of the use of freedom, that's very good, very good. Then one thing I have to sort of view. everywhere. You know, the media usually pick up all those negative things, and that become sensational. Then people, you see, look, always hear some negative side. Then gradually, you see, gain some kind of impression. Oh, basic human nature, human society is something negative. And the future of humanity may be doomed. So therefore, the media, beside report all these negative things what happen, but at the same time, educate people. Basic human nature is more positive. Now some scientists say basic human nature is more compassionate. So you see, while you make clear presentation, all these negative things, at the same time, give people confidence, hope. Always negative thing. That also I feel you take some notice. I always telling people, now we really need try to create more compassionate human society, more compassionate humanity. Biologically, we are a social animal, so sense of community always there. From birth, that is there. And we grown up with parents, particularly mother's affection, mother's love. So that's 7 billion human beings, same way. So in our blood, the appreciation of love, others' affection is there. So a person surrounded with more compassionate friend there, not only mentally feel happy, but also physically, also you see, getting more healthier, like that. So therefore, irrespective whether believer or non-believer, it is very, very important make effort. Firstly, make clear basic human nature is more compassionate. There is real basis of hope. If basic human nature is negative, anger, then no hope. Since this basic Buddhist nature, because I think human nature is more compassionate, so therefore, now time come, think more seriously. Today's existing education system, whether it is sufficient or not, we already notice now a lot of problems created by human being. Most of these troublemakers are educated. So the education, I feel, I have this sort of view, the existing modern education very much oriented about material value, not talking about inner value. When inner value comes, we totally rely on religious faith. Then today's world, out of 7 billion, over 1 billion non-believer. And frankly speaking, among the 6 billion believer, there are some strange believer also there. The faith itself sometimes causing trouble. Actually, all major world institutions all carry message of love, message of forgiveness, tolerance, self-discipline, contentment. So all have the same, also the potential. But we, follower of different religious tradition, we are not much pay attention about real practice. just carry, I am Buddhist, I am Christian, I am Muslim, like that. Occasionally visit temple. Then sometimes it grow my faith, my religion, my religion. Then I think 1,000-year-old, we have this sort of some kind of tradition, or one concept of one truth, one religion. Sometimes it causing problem. In India, multi-religious community. So every Indian child knows from childhood, oh, there are many different religious traditions. It is very important. Whereas you see people, there's only one religion, then feel their religion is truthful, other something different. So mentally, emotionally, a little bit isolated. That feeling of isolation then creates fear or outside made threat. There are only one religion like that. So therefore, India, I think historically, 1,000 years, you see, I think India, I feel only India, all major world traditions live together. So that's, I think, according with the concept of ahimsa. And ahimsa mainly on action level, resisting harming other. That very much related with motivation, karuna. So that's India's tradition. Combination of ahimsa and karuna. So these 1,000-year-old Indian tradition must now propagate, right? Spread. So it is not sufficient, just you have this tradition, say just tradition, and showing some interest, not sufficient. We have to make sort of systematic sort of plan from kindergarten up to university level. You see, they educate these inner value. So in this respect, now my fourth commitment, as you know, the first commitment is promotion of sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. The second commitment is promotion of religious harmony. Third commitment is the preservation of Tibetan knowledge, or Tibetan knowledge which comes from Nalendra. So therefore, then the fourth now commitment is I'm trying to revival of ancient Indian knowledge in this country. So India, only India can do combination of modern technology, modern education, modernization, plus education about inner world. No other country except India. So now that potential, I think you should utilize, you should explore, right? So my fourth commitment now is try to revive, and another word, the chela of ancient Indian teacher, Indian guru. 1,000 years we kept. Now time come to re-educate our guru. 8th century, since 8th century, we learn from Indian master. Not just religion, but say science of mind and logic. Therefore, we Tibetan student is who study at least 20, 30 years this logic, so their mind quite sharp. So recently in Tawang area, one Indian politician, you see, accompanied with me a few days. So one morning, we met, he asked me about rest, about sleep, like that. Then I told him, I always have 9 hours sleep. About 6 o'clock, go to sleep. And then 3 morning, wake up. And then at least 4 or 5 hours meditation, analytical meditation, sharpening my mind, so that I can cheat other people more easily. Then he responded me. He only 6 hours sleep, so he cannot cheat other people. Very nice, isn't it? Very nice. So all these knowledge come from India. One Tibetan scholar, 14th, 15th century, he expressed, till light of India reached Tibet, Tibet still remained dark in spite land of snow. Only light of India reached Tibet, and then land of snow become bright. It is very true, very true. So now those, their knowledge we learn from Nalanda masters, Nalanda tradition. Nalanda tradition always, you see, emphasizes importance of investigation, not belief, not faith. Buddha himself, you see, made clear, "O my follower, monks, scholars, should not accept my teaching out of faith, but thorough investigation and experiment." So that's a very scientific way of approach. So we kept that tradition. So now, time come. We ancient Indian gurus chela now want to become guru. So in any way, I think now media people also, you see, think more seriously, and some form of article like that, I think, inform Indian public. India can combine modern education that bring us physical comfort, and then for mental comfort, ancient Indian knowledge about our emotion, and most important, how to tackle our emotion, not through prayer, not through some recitation of a mantra, but to use our own intelligence. Analyze. What is the use of anger? Analyze. Use more holistic view. Through that way, the India's tradition have the potential to transform our emotion. In my own case, as a student of ancient Indian thought, through decades, thinking, really affects my emotion. So, all these come from India. Your treasure, your knowledge. So 1,000 years, we kept these. So now, while you revival this knowledge, you have to give me more money, or over 1,000 years we kept. So like that. So in this country, as I mentioned, but Nehru's, you see, because of the far-sightedness, you see, now today we have almost over 10,000 monk students who carry study, who keep this ancient knowledge. Now, up to now, language problem there. Now, since some time back, you see, I urge them, you should learn English or Hindi or local language, and also I urge them study modern science. So now, last a few years now more and more monk scholar now who can speak English or Hindi or Chinese, and also some knowledge about modern science. Now these, so once you take serious interest, then all these as a monk student who I think good scholar as a result, at least 20 years study. Our way study like Nalanda tradition, root text learned by heart, memorize. Myself also, which is from childhood, you see, memorize these root text. Then each word explained by teacher according commentary wrote by Nalanda master, most of them. Then some Tibetan commentary wrote by Tibetan also included. And then use extensively logic, through logical sort of debate, very serious debate. So our understanding, each word very deep, because a lot of debate. In order to carry debate, we say, we always raise doubt, question. Then further investigate, further debate. Then the meaning become very precisely, like that. So all this, your tradition. Now modern India, I think very busy to copy Western sort of value. Particularly the people who are serving in diplomatic field. So now, please, you see, think more seriously whether this ancient Indian knowledge is relevant to today's world or not. You can ask some well-known, famous scientists. They know when we discuss over 30 years of discussion. When we explain about system of emotion, system of mind, they really are surprised. Some scientists now actually following ancient this knowledge. So they really find very, very useful. So therefore, you can ask, you can see these people really showing genuine sort of interest about ancient Indian knowledge. So now, I think really worthwhile revive. Once India develop some kind of combination, modern education, ancient sort of education about inner world, then I think China, basically, historically, China, Buddhist country. So now today, around 400 million Buddhist population there. Those Buddhist countries in Asia, I think a very close connection, emotionally. So India's some certain sort of in certain sense in modernization where education of these things, I think tremendous impact in these Buddhist countries. So that politically also is some benefit there, like that. So that I want to share with you. Now some questions, some argument. Yes, raise questions.